Shoe reveal. My gosh. Look,
Chiefs.
It was a tough weekend.
Why?
Brady Jr. came on and did his thing. So let's just. Clark, how was your weekend? You know what? I'm a little I'm not down. I'm not depressed. I'm just tired of seeing the same people always winning. I mean, okay, that's not true. I love winning and I love seeing me winning all the time. So that's a lie. I love it. I don't know. I'm not excited. Okay.
Would we have been that excited if the Niners won?
I mean, as a Seattle fan,
no.
I would have had a lot of people annoyed, and my neighbors who hate them probably would be loud right now. So yeah, probably not. It's a good point.
Yeah, we lost it when the Lions blew it. I mean, that was kind of
that's true.
That would have been more fun.
100%. Then the NFL could have scripted that instead of this. It would have been a way better Disney movie.
It all went according to the script. Copywriters did a great job.
That's what we're here for.
I was Googling the overtime rules as someone that has been obsessed with sports for a long, long time. I missed the whole postseason rules. Apparently, so did the Niners. That was the whole thing. So
all I knew is that when the game started, I told my wife how it would end. And then it did. And so whether it's a blockbuster movie or an NFL game, my wife can't watch anything with me. I kill them all. Because a great story, it's just a roller coaster. And
that's all it is.
How it ends. It's always
that's all it is. Just if you don't know, that's legally they say that they're an entertainment product. And you know what? I was entertained. So it is what it is. I had a great time. Did you have any ads that you cared about? There wasn't much.
They
as
were
usual.
pretty bad.
And the Temu one was funny just because we talked about our wise order from Temu.
Yes.
So that was interesting.
Dunkin'
Not because
Donuts.
it was any good, but it was just interesting.
The only one that I thought was good was the Dunkin' Donuts one with Ben Affleck. That was it.
Yeah. At the same time, I could see, I see Tom Brady and Ben Affleck and Damon's pretty funny. I don't really actually know what was going on. People were making noise, so I didn't actually see the whole ad. The RFK Jr. one was interesting because it was the nostalgia, to his dad and uncle. And I know that was an independent party or whatever that did that. And it made us all stop, right? And I don't care who you're voting for or anything else. I'm always paying attention to when does the room stop? And they stopped during that ad because it was everyone's politics, but it was so old school. They're wait, what decade am I in? So in terms of a hook, they got it. It was a good hook. I saw everyone in the room, 20-year-old, 36, 30, 65 kind of stopping, I was at least paying attention to the TV. So it shifted the focus from just a malaise of all the ads seemed like one, right? All trying so hard to be trendy that going back old school flipped the whole switch.
Man, you know what I realized was I don't think car companies know their audience. There's all these car commercials and it's is this for a car? You don't even know. You can't even tell. Yeah. How was there an analyst on staff who didn't study OT? Look, when that clock was getting down 10, 9, 8, and then he threw the ball, you knew what was going to happen, Brad. We both knew that nobody was going to have to dust off any book. It wasn't in the script, Brad. It wasn't in the script.
They would have just kept going, right?
Yes, it would have been. Yes, it would have been a second overtime, and they just kept going, and we would have just watched and watched and watched. And I mean,
both players as birds. Wait, what do you mean by that, Lori? Did I miss something?
Quack quack. Feed the ducks. Are you trying to tell us to feed the ducks?
No.
Are you trying to tell us to feed the ducks, Lori? We'll feed the ducks. We have no problem.
There's no study the overtime rules music for the Niners.
But the one thing is, it felt like so many of these. Oh, okay. before that. It felt like some of these organizations just really don't know the audience. It felt like, to your point, they went after like the trendy or the like what would get them viral.
But I gotta ask, was that the audience? So this is a good discussion on audience and value prop with the whole
Anybody and everybody.
the whole Taylor Swift stuff too. I mean, you had girls on that whole fandom paying attention to the game. So did the ad strategy change for a lot of these companies? Were they
That's
even
true. Bigger audience. Good
getting
point.
you and me anymore?
Good
Were they
point.
targeting a different audience? Right?
That's a good point. Like, no trust, right? They're probably going after that like, try to be likable so that it's something that you'd pay attention to, hook them in. Good point. I did not see that. I missed that.
I missed it, Bradley. I grabbed another slice of pizza.
I missed that, Lori. My bad. I missed that.
Yeah.
Would have laughed at that.
See if we can
But that's a good point. That's a good point. Is they're trying to capture a larger audience. It goes it's like what we talked about, right? Psychographics. They weren't keyed into the demographics of who their normal audience is. They understand that they're going to have a wider audience that came to the game, and it's football, so it's a lot of emotion. People are going to be super emotional. They're going to be happy. They're going to be focused, keyed in. And so here's your opportunity to be likable. And that's a good point. So a lot of these commercials, even the car commercials where it's like, what? It's for a car? Good point. Good point.
Yeah. What's another thought I had? Oh, the Kelsey when he pushed Reed in the beginning of the game, that was nuts. But I saw a good meme on that. That was like, it was like Kelsey was the recruiter and Reed was the candidate. It's like when a recruiter's trying to convince a candidate to take a job that's fully on site for 5 days a week. Just like yelling in his face. I was like, that's pretty good. That got me.
That's the recruiter telling the hiring manager, I told you I'm not sending you another 10 candidates. You already sent 10.
Yeah. You got a few more? No, I don't. No, I don't, sir, ma'am. What else we got? Any questions in the chat? Sales, content? Who's posting content this week? Who's posting a meme or a GIF? GIF? What do we call it? From the game?
It's peanut butter. It's GIF.
Our hiring manager's responsive this morning. So it's Swift 13 times during the game.
I was going to make a prop bet around something like that. Didn't bet this year. We talked about that, Clark. Didn't bet this year. I was going to make a Swift prop bet. It was going to, and it actually hit. Which
13 was lucky, apparently.
Yeah. 13 was lucky, but
what was going to be the prop bet? What'd I do?
It was plus or minus 5 kisses to Travis Kelce after they won, whatever. So there was the prop bet was number 1, they won, and then 2 that there would be kisses. And there was like 7, so technically it won. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Those aren't our father's prop bets. That's for sure.
Those aren't our father's. That's with a lot more social media. Yeah. There's a lot more social media and adult beverages going on with those kind of prop bets. That's for sure.
Nick doesn't think that number was an accident. Nick, I think you and I would have a fun conversation. That was not recorded. What do you mean by that, Nick? I'm curious.
That's true.
Hey, it's WWE, as we've confirmed, but it doesn't mean we can't have fun or be entertained.
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
No, it was still entertaining. Still athletes that run really fast, hit really hard, and do really cool things.
I mean, it's crazy. That McCaffrey, that little like jump run, right to
the
end.
How fast is that dude? He outran the safety. Shoot.
He's with no angle. He created the angle. It was
after running it 37 times before that. Yeah. No, that dude is.
They're feeding the rock more. I don't know why. I thought they should have gone for it on 4th down. I mean, you got to go for the touchdown, right? You're in the 10, it's 4th and 3. Like with Mahomes, I felt like it was like deja vu a little bit of like Mahomes and Brady 2018 when they drove down in KC in overtime, kind of like Mahomes and Allen. I mean, even though you each get a possession, you just got to go for it. Like
I think in those times you got to go for the win.
Dude, Shanahan's had a track record of just not really going for it. Like he doesn't quite know how to put the foot, the boot down the neck.
Dan Campbell and the Lions and didn't want to be the Dan Campbell story.
I don't know. I mean, he had the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, he was the old coordinator then. That was him and Quinn. And they had it a few years ago with Garoppolo, right? I mean, they were up in the 4th quarter, if I remember, on the Chiefs.
They were.
Yeah. So it's like, we start creating some patterns here. Are there themes Themes that you don't want.
Always names, always names.
All in the script, Nick. Nick, you are talking my language. I like your style. All in the script.
So-
I like how this just like we openly talk about that now. But the NFL brought that upon themselves in the beginning of the year, right? Weren't they the ones talking about it, or like they were joking around about the script? Like, hey, they
played with it.
inceptioned us. You
They
think about
opened-
content, the messaging, right? Now
They
you and I can
opened the
talk about it without being
conversation.
called crazy.
They
So-
opened the conversation.
They did. All right, Badly. Wait, you got 2 posts this week you don't want to post. Why? Curious.
All right. I'm working on 2 posts that I don't want to post. Isn't that normal? Isn't that pretty normal? Isn't that pretty normal for people that we generally are working with, where we have a lot of ideas? So Bradley, it is
Well,
you don't know if it's gonna hit this week thing. Is it that this week is automation and you're talking copywriting and those two just don't mix? Like, what is it?
Yeah, put it in chat. Well, I'm gonna share some. We got new video.
Oh, what's this?
Here, wait. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I'm just gonna
Okay.
bring this out. I'm gonna reshare.
Oh, we're resharing.
I'm going back.
Okay. Back to Cali.
God.
Okay.
That's what the Niners were singing last night.
That face looks familiar.
That's Nick. This is Nick Loy's jail recruitment. Joined the program in August. Got a fun little video. Here's what.
Can't hear anything.
You can't hear it?
Can't hear it.
Oh man, that's brutal. How do I get sound going on this thing?
It's a good
I'll
question.
put it later. But we got some videos coming out this week. Let's see. I'll get some screenshots for you. 88. I mean, they talk about 88,000. I don't know who that lady is, but 88,000. It was 300%.
What is this? What's the video about?
Yeah, it's about their progress in the program.
Um,
So it was like him and Brian joined in August.
which
and
program?
The Digital Recruiter Mastermind program.
Oh, the Digital Recruiter program.
Yeah, they signed up. They created 88,000 revenue the first 3 months through working together. I remember Brian's message. He's like, "Look, we need help getting better recs. Say no more." Right? We talked, and I think what was interesting was getting the top of the funnel systemized. Right? We got the profile. They were counting at finance. Profile done. Right? The whole thing, automation setup, the messaging, generating those conversations. The cool thing about them in accounting and finance, they're actually great at finding candidates. Like Nick worked at PwC and all that. And that's really hard in accounting and finance right now, to have the candidate report, and they keep finding people. So I'm like, guys, we got to leverage that. Like, we got to put that out there. So they took to the content, to the automation immediately. Right. So we established the value prop, the niche, the ICP within a week. Right. Yeah. We cleaned up some of the, how do you qualify a better client, better recs, like what's going on, auditing some of that work. And then the systems, once we fixed the approach a little bit, and they didn't need much, like they're smart dudes. Like it was just kind of like course correcting a little bit where they were off track, right? Some of that permission, some of that confidence. I'm like, no, you guys have a ton of value here. Like, this is just how you have to frame it, like strategically and systematically in your conversations. Now let's get that out there. And the content, I mean, the content, some of the sales and prospecting strategies, and the automation is like just kept working. I mean, they were NPCing people and getting deals signed and interviews like the next day. I mean, it was crazy for like controller roles, CFO, staff accounting managers. So it's been really cool. I'm excited to see what they do this year. So we got a couple of those videos this week. Just awesome guys, awesome to work with, to show up, put in the work, great attitudes. Just kind of what we're all about. So I wanted to share the audio, but we'll be posting it this week on the LinkedIn. So stay tuned. But anyways,
well, Bradley did get back.
He answered. Okay.
He said it sounds way more ominous, ominous than it should have been. One of them I keep rewriting and haven't decided the right one. The other is semi-vulnerable and could lead to value prop. Oh, dude, I'm all about the value prop. Happy to paste if it's valuable to the conversation, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, do it. Of course. We'd be happy to run down with it if you would want us to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
So is it right? So when do you get stuck posting? Boy, this might not be the best phrase question to ask you, Kevin. Have you ever gotten stuck? We'll start with a vulnerable post. Or how do you determine the line in a vulnerable post?
Ooh.
What is your line, and how do you determine it?
That's a tough question for Kev. So to each their own. Like it is such a to each their own, and it's a I think it's like an internal external feeling. I don't have much of a line. A lot of y'all know that. Other than when it comes to my family. You know, if there's certain things about my family, like about my kids, that I wouldn't want them to like look back and be like, Dad, why would you talk about that with me? Now, granted, are they ever gonna look at my LinkedIn content? Probably not. Otherwise, for me personally, if I believe that my vulnerable post is going to help one other person unlock something, transform something, look at something in a different way, a different angle, and it requires that vulnerability, then I'm all for it.
No.
If so like if there's a purpose for it, I am not a big proponent of being vulnerable for vulnerable sake, just to like get an emotion out. But if if the story requires it, then for sure. And then it just goes to like it's just personal. Like what feels like that place where you don't. Yeah, go ahead.
But that was good. I don't feel like I don't post vulnerable just for the sake of posting vulnerable. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm king emotion, so I'm an empath. I deal everything with emotion, but um, there's this facts over feelings.
Well, you don't. I'll answer it for you then. You don't want to treat LinkedIn like your therapist.
Well, to be honest, I'll even go a step further. I don't think LinkedIn. No. I know for sure that people on LinkedIn don't have the ability to meet me where I'm at in order to be my therapist.
I'm not even talking about the comments. I'm
No.
talking about just that therapeutic release of posting. Like LinkedIn actually acts as the therapist by just posting out there. It doesn't the comments are just names when you're in that mode. You just throw it out there because you know you're throwing that energy out there. You're gonna get something back. But I'm with you. Like that is not.
It depends.
It becomes personal, not business.
It depends.
Versus how do you leverage the business? How do you leverage some of the not leverage really, but humanizing.
I just did it on Saturday. I did my origin post, and I talked about what happened at Amazon during the pandemic. Super vulnerable post for me. Actually, that's probably one of my most vulnerable posts. I talk about when I lost my job at Amazon, when I had to figure out something new, the pandemic. A lot of turmoil in my life. So again, like going back to if my vulnerable post, everything I do personally is about my business on LinkedIn. Even my personal posts are still kind of about my business because there's still an amount where I know that my audience needs to know a little bit more about me so they feel comfortable working with me, talking with me, right? There's that piece of it. So in terms of vulnerability, I just feel like as long as it goes towards your audience, it's not self-serving. That's a good point.
Key.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's not self-serving. And that's when I feel good about it. When I know it's for somebody else and it's not for me personally. Because I have this diary that I can write in, and that's fine. Personally.
Yeah, I mean, this post is really about like, hey, like, figure out what you can leverage, posting about that. It was real. Like you were going through it in the moment and it's all work related. And you activated so many connections and conversations and relationships and just creating that awareness.
And so to Brad's point, if you're talking like this to get to your UVP, your unique value proposition, then heck yeah, that's a great post because that's what's going to resonate with somebody else. I mean, I purposely, like, let's keep it real, Brad, like within reason. I mean, it did happen and it's real. But I do use the pandemic because it's that one moment in time where we all had a moment of perspective. So I know it's a story that's going to resonate with a lot of people who had that one moment of perspective too. So even as you're thinking about the post, oh, boom, is it right in front of us? It's right.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to make it not take up the whole screen, but we're getting there.
The 4 job openings I worked on, I submitted a qualified candidate in less than 24 hours. Dope. Safety manager offered and stepped. Okay. Not offer client, love the candidate, is considering bringing them to a different capacity. Now, as you can tell from the above, not every single one of my submitted candidates got the job.
Too much recruiter talk.
Yeah.
And Bradley, I know we worked together, so I know you know what I'm talking about. This speaks to recruiters.
Exactly.
This is like you're talking to your manager.
So out of this story, what's pertinent? What's pertinent for the hiring managers that want to hire you? Right? Like, what would be good information for them to know what makes you unique?
Yeah, speed.
Right? Exactly. Speed. So one qualified candidate or whatever, however many qualified candidates in less than 24 hours. That's a UVP, right? A unique value proposition to Clark's point, speed, deliverable. One candidate in 24 hours. That's a deliverable.
And
right?
there's a pattern. There's like this is like a theme. Like you do it over and over and over again. So the question is why? How?
Exactly. This is nothing. Like, this is just a normal thing. This is just another story, right? Like, this is just what you do, Bradley.
It's like the DJ Khaled meme would be like another one.
Yeah.
Like that's almost like this type of post. Like 4 recs last week, 4 candidates qualified in 24 or submitted 24 hours. All of them got to the offer stage.
Yeah.
Right. In a sense, because like that is what is true, right? Or all of them got interviews, right? Because to me, when the recruiter is getting someone that's worth an interview, that's the big deal. Right, what happens from the interview on, right? The client becomes a lot more involved, right? Like that's where I'm thinking with this, right? So this could be kind of a quick, it could be a nonchalant, like this is just what we do, right? And you leave them hanging, or it could be, the 4 openings, candidates right away, and then talking about like how you were able, like, describe, give them the journey of how you got why you were able to get those candidates over so quickly, right? Because you've been building a network, the way you screen, the way you did the intake form on the job, like everything else, like you understood why the candidates were looking and the match, and like you have a trained eye from thousands of hours of calls and everything. Like you let them into your process, or just humble brag.
Well, and remember, Brad, that every single hiring manager that's coming to your post is coming to a post with a story in their heads, right? And your job is to transform that story in their heads. And any great funnel, and that's what this is. Every post that we write is a start of a funnel, right? Every great funnel is able to take person from a story they believe they are experiencing into the one they are meant to live, right? So right now, every hiring manager that's coming to your post is experiencing not having qualified candidates in their inbox right now, and they need them. And the story you want them to live and believe is that they can have those candidates in their inbox when you're helping them. And that's the story you want them to believe, right?
Yeah.
That's what you have to deliver. Is
imagine,
they don't believe it. They don't think it's real. How many hiring managers, like, when you get on a call, like, you're really 3 qualified, right? You got to make them believe it.
Yeah, I take them through the journey. Like, if you give me this, and that, like these clients got this because they worked with us and gave us this, and that.
That's right.
Right. In terms of how you qualify good business, good recs, all that good stuff. That's what makes a difference, right? It's like, hey, you could talk to me today and have candidates, in your inbox Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, what would that do? Like, how would that change your quarter, your week, your month? Right? What does that look like? What are those skill sets? It's like you're pulling your hair out trying to figure out. Like just think about it in those terms and less like submittal. They don't know what a submittal is.
Yes,
they have
Josh.
no clue.
Sorry. And to Josh's point, yes, a post is the start of a funnel. And I do want everybody, because that's what it is, right? We're trying to funnel them to where? To a message, then to a phone call, then to a sale, right? Every message is the start of a funnel. Yeah. And so actually, Brad, the 3 questions that we always kind of ask would work for you here, right? What's the final transformation you want the reader to achieve? What are the steps required to get that transformation? And how can you help them through each step to get to that transformation? That's all you need to do.
Yeah, right? You're making them either aware of the problem, right? They're researching for it, right? They're looking at the solutions, alternatives, right? Do they purchase, right? Like that's what stage are they in? And a post like this is really hitting someone that is,
And,
or that's going to
oh,
respond right away, is actively looking.
and I just thought about it. And Brad, you could include if there were any problems, like in this process of how you got that candidate,
Yeah.
if there were any problems that went in your way, you could describe how you know you help them solve their biggest problem. Like this problem was preventing them from achieving whatever goal, but I got them one candidate in 24 hours, and here's how. Blah 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 blah. Right? That's like a little bit more compelling.
And also you could go at with how long had it been open
There you go.
before, right? And talk about that as well. Like how long had the job been open, right? Jobs, 1 month, one job open, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, all that. They got who they wanted, interviewed, offers, all within a week.
Yep.
What's how? How did you do that?
Exactly. You don't, because exactly. You want to give enough information for them to say, wait, how did you do that? We're just opening up the curiosity gap. We don't want to
And can you do that for me? Yeah.
Exactly. Because if we give them the answer, then they don't need you. They got the answer.
Yeah.
I hope that helps. I think that makes sense. That made a lot of sense. That was good.
That was good. That was good. What else we got as we wind down? This is a quick one today.
I know. I think we're actually close to time.
I was like, man, we got to keep doing an hour.
Yeah.
But half an hour Mondays, quick in and out right now has been good. We're trying to figure out ways to do more of this. We have a new community in Kajabi, so if you guys want to be, we're gonna start having a free community as well. And hosting some stuff in there. If there's topics, if there's things that you want us to cover, I mean, we can talk to ourselves all day. I mean, Kevin and I have been known to do that. But however we can make it more impactful for you, topics, things that you want to cover, different like workshop ideas or questions you want us to cover, always happy to. So shoot us a message, DM us. You want to talk to us further about the mastermind, book a call. The link's in the chat. It's also my profile. You can talk to Kevin as well. Dude, we got a lot going on, man. I'm pumped for the group calls this week. Pumped to see everyone be able to see some of these testimonials that we got, all the good work that's been going on behind the scenes with you and Keely and Christina and Ross and myself and all the digital recruiter clients.
Well, I think there's a lot of people right now that want to level up, like in many ways, right?
Yeah.
We hear it every day. Content, sales, and there's just so much noise. There's so much information. You can scroll the feed and get help from 77 different people. And so the one thing I'm going to say about us and the way we do things, and if you're here, then I think it kind of matters, right? Is like we really care about the people that come into our program, and we're genuinely curious about where you've come from and where you're going. And as you've done a great job building the culture of Digital Recruiter, it's with people that want to see people win. And that's why it's a pleasure to be here. That's why it's fun to be in the Kajabi community, trying to figure out ways to get everybody live and try to get everybody active. And we're just getting started. There's so much energy and enthusiasm there. And it's seriously, every Monday is the beginning of the start of a fun week. And it's been a blast building this community, Digital Recruiter, and everything else that we're doing. Yes, there is a hell of a lot going on, but you have a team of people that really genuinely care about people, and that's awesome.
No, dude, it's great. We got onboarding a couple people today. We got group calls this week. I'm excited for them to be part of that, and appreciate you. And we'll see you guys on Friday.
Appreciate everybody for coming. Josh, Brad, Saad. No, I think you're actually that's actually
Lori, Nick,
yeah.
All that.
Appreciate y'all.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, y'all.
Happy Monday, guys.